Everybody, my name is Jessica Holyfield and I'm a professional dance choreographer and dance educator based out of the southeast of the United States, and we're here taking a look at Takumi from the Jet Boy Bangers taking on Let's Dance Remix, the highlight from the first take. I'm pumped for this because the last time I saw one of these was with Sota Be First, and I thought it was really fun to get to dive into his freestyle movement quality, and with Takumi, we are no stranger to that because of his time on Cyber Agent Legit in affiliation with D-League. I think this is going to be great. I'm ready. I hope you are. Let's watch. That was fun. Shimmy.
お願いします。
I'm so over it. Okay. Come on now. With a speed change finish. Perfect. Oh, that was so fun. What's so interesting here is I don't know if any of my fellow D-Leaguers would feel this way, but it is, I met him through being on Cyber Agent Legit way, not way before, but definitely associating him more on that side than here in like a J-pop idol space. It's just really cool to see a lot of these little crossovers. So I hope that this properly promotes the group in a really cool way that helps also get people involved on the D-League side, because it's such a cool league. Personally, I'm very much looking forward to going in the flesh one of these days, and there's a way to do it. I know there is. That was a really fun way to just warm up and center yourself, is this little shimmy. Does he do that normally? I feel like I need to clock it now on the live streams to see if that's like a little ritual, stretching, ready to go. This was in fact done in a one take with different camera shots because of the sequence of a lot of his choices are really hard to replicate in multiple takes. And I would also safely assume we are freestyling as well, which we're here for. There's a lot of Takumi-isms in this that I'm really excited to touch on because I'm more familiar, I would assume, to myself from my exposure to his movement quality compared to Sota's with Be First, and it was really fun to uncover what we did with him, so I cannot wait to see what we're going to do here. So he's ready to go. So this Let's Dance remix is truly a remix because I have already done the Let's Dance. You know, I've taken a look at it. Now, I have no clue, no freaking clue how if it made it onto YouTube or not. I hope it did. I believe we have a higher chance on this one making it because the last one with Be First did fine. So we're hoping. Anyway, so we start with a little speed change. We drop it down. I love the interruption of that. I love the mouthing of the words. It's fun to engage into it. Something that I've noticed too, just in this watch through, was how he is able to entertain and explore certain techniques or textures or dynamics without sacrificing what he has already established in movement. That can be something that I know I've struggled with as a mover. A lot of people who are trying to become more polyrhythmic in their movement struggle with is when I'm exploring an idea, wanting to hit other parts of my music without sacrificing the idea I've already started. Right? It's a situation of like cutting off your flow is what I've mentioned it as, and what I've heard colleagues call it. He does a good job of not doing that. I like his wave, the ad readability of it. That was a fun intro. I like the double pop there. The little hinge over to the side is nice direction change. The bass, double bass, opens it. The wave. I liked that he introduced two different waves. The second one was a little bit more full, introducing potential threading in that with the head going through. Great speed change using that. He continued this. Boom, let the head do its thing. That swing over across, the accent up, the wave down is nice. I like the switch off here going on with the head is really nice on that. Now that right there, that move, it actually reminded me, clocking back to Let's Dance, I believe I misspoke about the legs, like the footwork sequence they did. I called it like a twist of flex variant, but I don't believe it is. I think it's more of a crazy legs variant. But because you deal with such hybrid stuff, sometimes you have to guess and then refine, because some of the baseline you can kind of see, but then it takes you a second to really know in context, getting in and out, what it is. So I think I misspoke. So I'm so sorry if you watch the Let's Dance and you're like, Jess, I don't think that's right. You would be right. I don't think it was. I think they were doing a crazy legs variant, but I was confused into thinking, like, because I noticed it here, that it was similar to like a twist of flex sequence, but it started from the bottom instead of the top. So that's my little bit. I'm glad I got to say that here. So I'm so sorry if I confused anybody. Remember, I'm human. Use me as a supplement is best. Do not use me as your sole, I don't know, resource for understanding street dance. Let me just hopefully promote your curiosity to go explore it. Anyway, the accent's nice, like the heel toe on that. The pop is nice. He ends up sending it through. Notice that he changes his hands, more stylized, sometimes more fists, other times it's a point. That does change how a wave or a trace comes across. It's something you're noticing with Takumi here. He is utilizing legato or using a wave, but he also can switch up the texture of that wave through more isolation, but he does like to use traces a lot. We've seen it here. We've seen some hovering. We've seen some points. We've seen some triggers, meaning that we started somewhere and it goes to somewhere else. So that's really fun to see. We're probably going to see it entertain more. Speed changes. This is so fun. I love that. The patience of this. Then he folds it over, boom, pops it, not just here, with the reverb. I love how reverbed his choices are, but he's also involving the diaphragm. That diaphragm and the flexing of it really helps. I mean, that's what you need to do a chest pop. Once again, depends on who you talk to, but based on how I've learned from so many different teachers how to do a chest pop. I've learned bopping, popping, and it just depends on who you ask. A lot of times that diaphragm's is that common denominator, which is why I said what I said in that way. Okay. And I like the little press, that little accent down, that double is really cool there. He rotates it through. That was cool where he hits it, boom, that rotation through. So it's a mix. I'm assuming he's using this to help with that multiplanar choice. Let's look though. Yeah, I think that's what he did. Yeah, he hits it, sends it around. I love the illusion of it. It's cool. And I like that he looked to it as well. You notice that he faces front sometimes, but vocally, he does focus on his body as well, and that helps us as a viewer be able to easily clock what he wants us to see. That's the beauty of the power of being a mover and having that type of control of freedom of choice and confidence to make your choices. So I think that's great. There, hits it. That is filthy. He ends up doing a trace wave. This is a prime example if he's adding a vibration or you hear that he's justifying, but he's also isolating. So that is a polyrhythm through and through, and that is very well done to my personally because he didn't cut off either. That's a textbook example of that. Love that. He sends it up, and then he accents that brow. Love it. One side to another. Love the melts there. Traveling in. He says, boom, let's dance. Here we go. Vibrates it up. Nice pop. So he's reusing a lot of these angled choices. We do see him use these pretty often on the Cyber Agent side. That's just such a color of how they present, especially when he's an ace performer on D-League. His section's going to have this type of setup. I don't know if that's a fingerprint-ism of how he starts his choices or starts the choreographic sequences he is a part of, but that's something that over time maybe we'll develop that hypothesis or that decision together. But it is something very familiar. A lot of old school popping, you're going to see these angles. Don't fix what ain't broke sometimes. There's a classic side to it. It's really nice. He hits it down. The kick is nice. That womp womp womp. I like that. It's fun. Good. We're getting into entertaining a little bit of a little boogalooing. The clap is fun. We vibrate it. We wave it. So I'm gonna say pretty safe fingerprints of Takumi, at least here in this moment with this type of music. It's gonna be traces, waving, with traces accompanied, and then also vibrations and transitions, which is, I think that's a pretty stacked fingerprint preference if you ask me, because they're all really fun. That's gross. That, when the timing of ISO going from head to chest to hip and then we double time it, get out of here. That's great. Then he vibrates it as a transition choice. So he vibrations a legato move. Oh, that's cool. Then we take it to the floor. Good for him. That's a really enclosed space. So trying to stay captivating in what you're doing and captivating your audience by being in this enclosed space is tricky stuff. I mean, Soda did a great job of that too. He brings it back up. Really fun transition out of that. Now we've changed and into a different type of space of sound. Really fun. I like from there he's starting to. It's more what I call it, stop motion, because there's not ticking involved in it, nor is it strobing. There's too much range in between for that, based on my observation. I don't know if it's stop. I haven't studied enough stop motion to really have that kind of confidence. Anyway, I like the if we're gonna do this, nice interruption of his choices in that sequence. It was really nice. We'll just keep it broad. I love that, how he knocks it as he travels it down. That was really cool. Then he sends it over. Then we're okay. So then from there, he turns and he resets. I'm calling that a reset, meaning that, okay, we're going to settle back into our choice. Because the track has tone shifted, meaning that there's different types of timbres, tonal colors. Timbres is sound context. So what kind of sounds we're dealing with and how you would describe them. Tonal colors is similar to the type of instrument specifically, because there's so many different types of basses that exist and they resonate to our ear differently, depending on the pitch of it and how it, reverbs in the space surrounding in context of other sounds. Just that alone is, we could talk on and on and on about it. There's so much we can uncover with that. But my point though is, for a tone shift, your movement needs to match the music. And if your music changes, your movement has to cater to that. And that's what that was. That gave I'm resetting to calibrate to the music more effectively, right? But then, watch what happens. He hits, boom, he goes into a pop. He leans over to that right side to establish a pop with a fun, clear, readable angle. And then he ends up setting it to the other side. You see what I mean? That could be a Takumi fingerprint, where he really likes entertaining these clean angles. There's nothing wrong with that. I said, don't fix what ain't broke, right? And it works very well in readability, and you can definitely enhance it through variety and polyrhythms by having readability established like this. So he sends it around. We've seen some of these things entertained in the previous track, but notice the pace is different. He's also embodying more of a boogalooing phrase with it. And he sets it out. I like that. I really like the usage of the hips there. Adds a subtle funk appeal to it, but this has more of a funkier nuance in the second half compared to the first half, right? This is I'm going to be honest, this is such a Cyber Agent legit hybrid track. If he was pulling out Campbell locking at some point, it wouldn't shock me. But I know he can do it, but normally when he's at the front, the focus is on popping or the boogaloo elements. And he sends it around. Come on, wave. He sends it. The point is nice. Look, there's another trace. He reverts it back in. That is cool. He goes, doo, doo, doo. Freaking vibrates it, and he stops the wave for a moment. I love that. And I like that it was a moment there. The kick around is fun. He ends up hinging it, and the opposition of those arms are really cool. Knees with the head. The pop with the wave. More like a breath. We didn't really finish through, so I'm not going to call that a wave. Just a nice little breathy element to that. Then he takes it through, come on, pop, 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 and then he signals more of a legato. So we had like 3 different textures happen in one go from one side to another, and then transfer down to the leg. Sends it around. The knockdown is fun. Speed change again. He comes up full of confidence too, and then he looks to the corner. He leans away, continues to speed change. The wave is nice, and then we drop it down with the speed change to finish. Down to the freaking end. Cheers to that. Did he breathe during that? Because that's what that sounded like. He just went, right? Let's listen. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh man, this was great. I thoroughly enjoyed watching this, and I hope you guys did too. If there's some things I reference, you're like, Jess, I've never heard of that. I hope that it starts showing up on your algorithm if this came across your page, because Takumi, alongside so many other members of Jet Boy Bangers, they are affiliated with D-League, and that is probably one of my favorite things to watch on the YouTube side. Just because of the caliber of the competition and how we get to celebrate dance and really focus and hone in on genres like popping or whacking, vogue, breaking, crump, just off the top. And there's so many other incredible movers that we get to appreciate in that space. But I really like the fact that we get to have Takumi showcasing versatility of being in a space like this where normally it's promoted for J-pop groups. He is a part of J-pop group, but it's also a part of a professional dance league. So hopefully I'm a bridge in that way, and I love being able to show my support through looking at these and observing these, and I hope we all enjoyed our time together. I'm Jess, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Bye.